Yep.
Okay, hey, welcome to Open Till Midnight special edition. It's a Thursday night because we went and saw Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
The old OTM
Thanks for tuning in.
So spoiler alert now.
If you see a spoiler alert on your screen, that's because we're going to be talking pretty heavily about all of it.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah, so if
Everything.
you don't want to have the movie spoiled, you might want to go see it and then rewatch this later on
Yes,
YouTube.
it will be recorded and archived for everyone to see.
For everyone to see. So, pretty much, do we want to all go around and just give our impressions and rating of the movie to start?
Better than Force Awakens, and that's a tall order.
Yeah, better than Force Awakens for sure. Yeah, for me.
We see the wars part of the Star Wars a lot in this one.
This is really the first Star Wars movie to me that felt like a war movie.
It felt like the Dirty Dozen. Like it felt like it since Star Wars borrows so heavily against those old serials.
Yeah.
This borrows what pretty heavily I feel from like old World War II movies.
Yeah.
You know, the crack squad with nothing to lose and everything to prove.
This was the thing that can really I feel like was the most jarring about this movie was how small the characters felt compared to the Empire and even the Rebellion. I mean, they just felt like these dirty sort of.
They had we find like we get the movies. The movies have always been really good at showing us like how big the Empire is.
Yeah.
How totally fucked the Rebellion is.
Yeah.
And
it was the first movie. I think that what we talked about sort of on our way back home was, the prequels didn't do a really good job of showing how scary Vader was, and how he really was this terrifying dude, like, around the end of his evolution. And Rogue One, to me, was, like, just scary, fucking brutal, fucked up Vader,
Oh my god.
One of my big things has always been, like, a lot of people talk about, like, the prequel Vader Anakin thing.
Yeah.
The flipping and the spinning and the tightly choreographed moves. And then we go to, the Vader of episodes 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
And you've got a much more subdued, much more brutal character in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And in this movie, we see kind of like the perfect crux between those two places.
Yeah, you do.
There's a sequence in this movie where a bunch of rebel troopers are sort of cornered by Vader. And it's like a scene out of Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Like, the movie does a really good job of showing all these rebel troopers as, like, hardened, like hard-nosed, like, bare-knuckle. Company men. Are, like, survivors through and through. And they just drop fucking feet.
I think I've never been more afraid of Vader than I did in that scene in the end where he was in the shadow and you hear the breathing first and you see the lightsaber.
Yes.
And that was like, I've
God.
never seen something like that in a Star Wars movie before. It was super, it was insane to watch. I mean, like, I've never seen that before, honestly.
Yeah.
It was a horror movie shot. It was the monster coming out of the darkness.
Yeah.
But this shouldn't say, again, spoilers here.
Lots of spoilers.
Yeah, we get the few glimpses we get of Vader. That's one of them. The other one is when he's dealing with an Imperial leader who has kind of been overstepping their bounds.
Yeah.
And not only does Vader fucking force choke him,
yeah.
he makes a fucking pun about it.
Yeah.
Not only does he force choke him, he force chokes him down here.
Yeah, like on the DL.
Down here.
Like he's not.
We saw, like, you pointed this out in A New Hope. We see him, like, his hand is up, full on choking the dude.
Yeah. He's like, I'm letting you know I'm choking you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this movie, he has his back to the guy.
Yeah.
And his hand is just, like, down near his hip. And then just turns around and holds his hand out, like, right down here. It's like, look, I'm using 3 fingers.
Yeah.
And I'm rendering you like this.
There's
I'm going to make a pun about it.
There's moments in this movie that really surprised me. I think we all kind of went into it thinking we might see Tarkin for a second.
Yeah.
They might do something with computers like they did.
No.
Like, Tarkin is in this movie, like, hardcore, and, like, it's one of the best performances, which is crazy because he's been dead for, like, 20 years. But
and he's in this movie for a solid 12 to 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He has like key dialogue.
Yeah.
To me, the Death Star is rendered all the more terrifying in this more low-key setting.
Yeah.
They don't blow up a planet in this movie.
Yeah.
Although for all intents and purposes, they blow up a fucking planet in this movie. But I mean, from the perspective of what you say.
Yeah, they basically nuke a city from orbit.
Yeah.
So hard that like the tectonic plates of the like the surrounding continent just like act like fucking waves, just destroying shit.
Yeah. Jimmy Smits is in this movie. Really interesting.
Jimmy Smits does a great job. I wanted more of him. I wanted more Jimmy
too.
Smits.
I thought that was an awesome way to bring back a prequel character.
Weirdly, not a lot of Forrest Whitaker's character. Very important to the story, and he's there a lot in Act 1, early Act 2.
Not a lot of Mon Mothma either. And I kind of thought she'd be more in the movie too. Forrest Whitaker's character, I almost think it was a really good tribute to his Clone Wars character. That dude is just broken and gross by the time this movie's come around.
And it's one of those things where you hate to see a character portrayed in something that's not necessarily lighthearted, but has a different air to it, because it is animated. It's going to have a different air to it, and then to see them take that character, move him forward about 20
drag
years
him through the shit,
and just see what this man's become. He has two droid feet.
Yeah.
He doesn't have all of it. He's half man, half machine.
He's basically pretty Vader himself.
He's basically a mix between Darth Vader and a Morton Joe with that fucking breathing mask that he had. That thing got me.
Yeah.
It's having that. It looked like a fucking nebula, like an asthma nebulizer that he had attached to himself.
Yeah.
And then just to see him whenever he is meeting his end, just rip that motherfucker off and embrace the void.
Yeah.
It's just,
There's some shit that you would never imagine seeing in a Star Wars movie that happened in this movie.
You see troopers taking headshots.
You see, people taking body shots, wounds that are still on fire from blaster shots.
You see people take a blaster bolt and then keep trying to move.
Yeah.
One of the things I like is that they seem to have gotten on the same page with what blaster fire does to a human body.
Yeah.
Where not only does it cause pain and some fire on clothing and skin and burning and shit, but it seems to paralyze that
because it's electric, so you figure it's gonna
we saw one of the main rebels towards the end just dragging half of his fucking body to fucking cover.
Yeah.
This did
see someone dragging their body in a Star Wars movie, which is fucking gnarly.
We saw the AT-ATs get fucking owned. We've never
from the ground in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
which is really fucking cool.
But at the same time, they portrayed the sheer dread that those inspire.
They are one of the cool things they did with the AT-ATs was we spent a lot of time on ground level.
Yeah.
So we kept seeing their feet. And just the world exploding around other characters.
Wow.
The air battle in this is honestly probably my favorite air battle I've seen in Star Wars since A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
It had a New Hope vibe to it, and I loved it.
It felt a lot to me like Return of the Jedi, with the two fleets the two fleets skirmishing and all. What I love about the Star Wars flavor of space battles. Is how almost serene the capital ships look.
Yeah.
Well, they've got all these the smaller ships and the fighters and bombers scrambling around them.
There's something about the air battles that were in this movie that felt so much like the original trilogy.
They were. The cool thing was they weren't treated they were working off bad intel and they had to scramble, but they didn't actually they didn't mean to show up where they showed up and it felt we got the full on chaos of what happens in a war,
and it was shot well too. I really appreciate Gareth Edwards, sort of bringing back that old school cockpit viewpoint.
I did. I loved seeing the cockpit shots again,
back and forth. I mean, I love that. I thought it was,
because of my experience with the extended universe, the pilots are my favorite part of the Star Wars stories. and seeing just like the general, like Green Leader, the guy, just like no, this is a bad idea. Rationally, it's a bad idea. Technically, it's a bad idea. The guy with the capital ships already went. Fuck yeah! Like, all right, bad idea. Like, someone already made my bad idea for me. My mustache wanted to go, but I had to wait.
And Hammerhead might be my favorite.
Oh god,
the Hammerhead.
Okay. I don't want to talk too much, even in spoilers. I don't want to talk too much about that. But there comes a point, let's say, where the rebellion's like they basically pull a naval ship equivalent of hey, check this cool shit out.
Yeah.
Like the rebel banner might as well just say like hold my beer. Like, and it in a really fucking just like an amazing desperate kind of way. Like all of these moves are just like are moves you'd make. Everything the rebellion does, everything the characters do. And we talk about the rebellion a lot because that's who we spend time with.
Yeah.
Like yes, there are protagonists in the story. They are very important. We can talk about them, but like we kind of live and breathe with the rebellion on this one in a very cool, very fun way. A way we never got really in the original movies.
You don't realize how down on their. I mean, you understand they're down on their luck, but you really feel it in this one. You know, they are people that are just like we are fucked. Like we're fighting, but we recognize we are fucked. You know what I mean?
And that and they keep having to be like, well, this move might fuck us, but I mean we're already fucked, so like we might as well try.
And there's some interesting things I saw too, just politically. Like the Empire has a labor camp. We know that now because we saw
too. Like she was on a different planet's labor camp, and they had a labor camp on the planet with the crystals.
Yeah.
So the Empire apparently makes no qualms about like, oh man, we need this resource out of the ground, but we can't pay enough workers out of that labor camp. Yeah. One of the cool things, that vehicle they were in when she was in the labor camp to begin with, that was one of the juggernauts they used in the Clone Wars.
There was some stuff from Clone Wars I saw. There was some stuff from SWTOR I saw in there.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I'm right about this. You can correct me. But the temple that you play in SWTOR, was that Saul's temple?
No.
I was wondering. I was like
that hammerhead ship design, the one that looks kind of like the Carillion Corvette, but not quite. That design is lifted pretty strongly from the Knights of the Old Republic verse.
There was some stuff that I was hoping we would see in this movie that I didn't see. I really wanted them to name. I mean, I really thought them reincorporating Thrawn back into Rebels was them sort of. I thought they'd at least name drop it. Like they were going to be like in General.
Well, when I first saw that white uniform with the cape, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I was about to lose my damn mind. I was like, holy shit.
Because we see it from behind with jet black troopers who look larger than normal. I thought they were his Nagiri buddies. I was like, oh no. Like,
I think I would have lost my shit if he was in the
and honestly, I think our chances of seeing Thrawn went up after this movie. We got away from like we were talking about the rebellion. We see him just kind of like hard luck in this movie.
Yeah.
Even in A New Hope, like we were focused on Luke, we were focused on Leia and Han. Even in Empire, when they're evacuating, we're focused on Han. We're focused on Leia.
There's a lot of things that are happening besides Luke Skywalker in those timelines.
Exactly,
that we can talk about. Yeah.
And this movie does a really good job of showing like you don't need a Jedi at the helm to have a good time in the Star Wars universe.
We don't even see a lightsaber until the very end of the movie. I was thinking about that. I was like, wow, we haven't seen any lightsabers yet. Like, that's pretty gnarly.
And then, like, the time you see it, it illuminates fucking Vader.
It made it that much better when it was like, and there's the lightsaber.
Yeah.
And I think that was a willful choice. We saw lightsabers in this movie as much as Rebel Troopers might, which... By that I mean the last fucking thing you see.
And that was probably the first time they had seen it in their entire life.
Think about the beginning of the movie, like whenever Jen is given the necklace with the crystal on it.
Yeah.
Like they run into Donnie Yen on what's the name of it? Jeddah, the name of the planet. They run into him on Jeddah.
Lots of new planets.
Yeah, Jeddah, and he's like, "Do you know what that crystal's used for?" And he's like,
she's like, nope.
Well, like my mom told me that it's used to power lightsabers, and it's like the concept of lightsabers have been mythologized so much in this universe that seeing one must just blow their fucking mind.
Yeah. and this movie does a very good job of going into it. So this movie happens between Episode 3 and Episode 4, A New Hope, much closer to Episode 4.
Yeah. But it honestly feels like you could pretty much watch Episode 3 or Episode 3, this, and then 4, and it pretty much is a strong bridge. Like,
it really is, because it gives us the Empire. One of the things that was missing from this, and I'm not going to fault this movie for it, because it's not this movie's fault. But one of the things I want to see is I want to spend more time in, like, whenever we see the Empire, it's a labor camp or like a security tower or like a science facility.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get in these Imperial cities.
Man, I'm telling you, I have wanted a Empire-centric Star Wars movie. Just don't even have anyone from there. I want, like, the inner workings of, like, the Empire. Like, I want that in a movie really bad.
This was basically Rebellion the movie.
Yeah, it was.
So we might get an Imperial sort of counterbalance to that.
I could see why Gareth Edwards said this was the Saving Private Ryan of Star Wars movies.
Yeah, very much so.
Like that. That was a really good description.
They literally were on a beachhead. Like, that was...
Yeah.
And this movie does a very good... I say... so, this happens in the height of the Empire... And this is how they get the Death Star plans. That's the plot of this movie.
Yeah.
So if you know anything about Star Wars, this is actually a minor spoiler, but like, there's a good chance nobody's making it out of this particular fucking mission, because the only one that had the Death Star plans at the beginning of 4
was Leia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
all these characters have names that you've never heard before.
So you got a feeling that they're just sort of sitting on gravestones, probably.
Yeah.
That being said, this movie makes you resent the fuck out of that, because you're pulling for these fucking characters.
I was just like, I want to know where these people fit in later on in the timeline. No.
The scene at the end on the beach, I thought, was probably one of the coolest Star Wars moments. Like,
honestly, I was thinking about it on the drive home, and I remembered learning about Hiroshima.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And just the sort of, the sort of chilling feelings of that kind of power.
Yeah.
And this movie did, I can't say tasteful, because it's not my place to say.
Mm-hmm.
But that it, like, pulled that out of, like, the deep recesses of my, like, schoolboy mind.
Yeah.
Number one, I don't think was an accident. Number two...
Oh, how there were two different... I mean, I think there's a lot of parallels, honestly, between... I thought there was an interesting quote from, I forgot the name of the character.
Which one?
Evil Empire dude that wasn't Tarkin.
Oh, Director Krennic.
That one. When he said, we're bringing peace to the galaxy. And
the other guy said, you mean terror.
You have to start somewhere.
You have to start. Which, honestly, is how... fascism works.
Yeah,
I thought there was a lot of... I mean, I would think there's a lot of commentary there on American imperialism.
Yeah.
Probably.
Imperialism as a whole.
Yeah, just...
That's not a strictly American thing.
No, it's not. And not for nothing. The Imperials sound a lot like the British.
There's a lot of commentary there on colonialism.
Absolutely.
And things like that. I mean, obviously, but...
That's been there since the beginning.
As these characters, as the characters you follow reach the end of their stories, like you're there with them in a very war movie kind of way.
Yeah.
Like, they do a good job of showing just like what a grenade does. Like, sometimes you're like there are these epic moments of, like, the great battles versus good and evil. There are deaths in the Star Wars universe of, like, Darth Vader swinging a sword through Obi-Wan and Obi-Wan vanishing. But in war, in what we've posited is happening in this universe, sometimes a grenade just falls fucking next to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully your super awesome buddy with a rotary laser is ready to fucking avenge you. Your super awesome, let's be real, husband
We need to talk more about this.
Let's talk about.
I want to talk about that.
Let's talk about Baze and Cherub.
Okay, so they were fucking
Totally fucking.
Yeah.
They definitely seemed to me to be coded as a couple.
They were coded as a couple, and I'm actually a little pissed. That's one of my big criticisms of this movie. Don't fucking code couples. It's 2016. Just have them kiss.
And the thing was, like, Baze had a reason to be there.
Yeah.
And the only reason for his hunting buddy
Yeah.
to be there with him was he cared about Baze. Like, that was it.
Well, Baze was the dude with the gun.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Cherub.
Cherub.
Well,
they always say their name together. I couldn't tell, like, which one was which.
There was one quote that I thought sealed it for me. Was it when he said, "I don't need luck, I have you"?
Yeah.
That was it for me. I was they're a couple. I don't need luck, I have you. I was like, all right.
Even a hand kiss at the end.
I was waiting.
That was all I would have needed.
I thought they were going for the kiss. Honestly,
then Baze fucking gets up and proceeds to kill the entire Imperial army.
Yeah. Just gun, gets shot, can't use his arm anymore. Fuck it, I'm gonna shoot you as I'm fucking falling down, motherfucker. With your, you're gonna roll here with me with a grenade next to me.
What I love is that they got up like these monsters, like these big bad. There are like in this movie there are like stormtrooper special forces kind of guys in like black armor, jet black armor, and they tried to get up like they were these big bad boogeymen coming up from the depths, and he was just like. No.
Yeah.
Bang, bang,
Yeah.
bang.
I will say this though. Why does Donnie Yen have to die in every?
Donnie Yen has to die in every film.
Why does Donnie Yen have to die in every? The only thing I wanted from this movie, I had a feeling it was going to be good.
If we get big,
I just wanted Donnie Yen to live for once.
If we get big, we'll make a movie called Donnie Yen and Sean Bean Have a Great Day.
Yay! It's just them having tea and shopping for antiques.
And then the meteor falls.
God damn it! I won't.
Speaking of coding and relationships, there's a moment between our male protagonist and female protagonist.
You saw me get pissy about that.
They didn't go for it.
I was
they had a sort of almost kiss thing. But they didn't do it.
I hated that moment so much. That was another big criticism I had. I was like, don't kiss. Don't do that.
Just don't make out.
That's the thing, though. They didn't, though.
They did.
And I'm glad they didn't because I was like, I would have a lot of respect for this movie if it was just a female protagonist and a male protagonist. They get the plans, send them, and then they die, and there's no, like, I wish we could have had a life together.
No, and there wasn't. There was just
there wasn't.
There was just like, oh, this sucks. It does. Hug it out.
Yeah.
Like,
that pretty much was it. It was a lot easier for me to take as an audience member, and the fact that they were so like accepting. They were like, "We did it. We probably saved like a fuck ton of people, and like now we're gonna die on
just
this
go down
beach."
to the beach."
Yeah.
What else are you gonna do?
Oh, if I was in their particular position, I'd be digging around stormtrooper corpses for a cigarette.
Yeah.
The motherfuckers getting no cigarettes.
I just pull up like, who's gonna light shit? Whoosh.
Oh, what do you mean? Who has a light? You got fucking explosions all around you. Just walk up to one.
One of them's gonna kill me.
Did we see some Cantina guys in this movie?
We did.
Yeah.
Dr. Emerson and Ponda Baba.
Yeah.
They have the destinies in 9 systems.
Yeah.
Ponda Baba even pointed the arm they got cut off.
I don't like you.
They fucking great. We got random C-3PO and R2-D2.
Which they have to be in every movie, but I was like...
Oh, guys, come on.
They're the mascots of this fucking thing.
I know, but like, come on. Come on, yeah, it's C-3PO and R2-D2.
But let's just say...
Well, they weren't... C-3PO wasn't in Force Awakens. It was that weirdo with the red arm.
You gotta stop with this. That was 3PO.
That was some weird... Look, 3PO has 2 gold arms. Look, I don't know a lot in this goddamn world.
Go read the comic that explains how he got his red arm and
There's
got his gold arm back at the end.
Stop trying to sell me this Diet Coke not C-3PO weirdo with
Okay,
red
well,
arm.
how about this? Let's just scrap those 2 droids and bring in this other droid real quick.
Is it Poochie?
No, it's not Poochie. His name is K2SO.
Oh, yeah. It's voiced by Alan Tudyk.
Love
K2 voiced by Alan Tudyk is going to be your new fucking favorite.
K2's the bitchiest gay droid I've ever seen.
Oh my god, he is so great. He just sounds like a posh British man.
He's just like, can I help you? No.
Well, no, that scene at that desk, you're like...
Yeah, well, I mean, let's be frank, every death scene in this movie carries more emotion than pretty much a lot of other movies.
I was like, oh my... His got me the most.
You saw the fire, like, in him, like... literally like the blaster fire that like caught, and you're like, oh no, he's a droid. He can make it. No, he doesn't. He can be in the movies.
He doesn't have organs. It's okay.
No, blew up the goddamn planet. The kind of point is, our villain was very imperial.
Yeah.
But like Krennic was, and he did a yeoman's job in the role.
Yeah.
But when you've got risen from the dead Peter Cushing, and James Earl Jones pulling a come on pun as Darth fucking Vader, he got overshadowed. I'd say pretty hard.
I think his character was kind of meant to be overshadowed.
Exactly. He seems very much like a corporatist trying to climb that ladder.
He was the company man trying to be like, I did this for you, and everyone's like, shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah, like his whole motivation wasn't necessarily like building the Death Star. It was more like, hey, look at me, I built the Death Star. I'm the one that did it. I want credit.
I just want Emperor Senpai to notice, man.
Exactly. That's all it was.
I thought we'd see the Emperor.
I'm kind of glad we didn't.
Spoiler: the Senpai will never notice you.
Number one for me, the Emperor. I am not a big fan of the prequels whatsoever. And people are like, try to watch them. I tried to watch them. They're not. One of the only shining moments for me in the prequels is when the Emperor just refuses to give a fuck. He's just cackling to him like, like he's just enjoying being evil so fucking much. You kind of start rooting for him. You're like, yeah, because he's showing some fucking emotion. He's getting into it. You're like,
I love this. I was made for this.
But he's doing that on Mace Windu, and I like Mace Windu.
Well, it's just, Mace Windu is fine, but the Emperor, the whitest dude, was acting more like Samuel L. than fucking Mace Windu was.
Well, I know.
Mace Windu, I when I saw Tarkin, I was like, oh, well, they'll bring back the Emperor. He's still alive, so, it's fine. And then, but I really kind of was surprised they didn't. I was like, Vader's in it, and then, the Vader, Vader and him will be talking at some point. Nope.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think as we've seen the Emperor, he's a known quantity now. But I do like that they kept him in the shadows because going to the whole thing with Krennic as the bad guy. Y'all are very much right. He's a bully trying to play with fucking monsters.
Yeah.
He's a bully standing next to Tarkin and Vader.
Yeah, and Tarkin is cold.
Tarkin's like Vader with a fucking widow's peak.
I like that Tarkin. It's almost made Tarkin's character more three-dimensional for me in A New Hope.
You can see why he was so bullish about the Death Star now. And you can see why Vader just didn't give a shit. He was just
whatever.
By the way, I think that planet he was on was Mustafar.
Oh yeah, no, it was clearly Mustafar.
Yeah, I think
the
that's
the
lava planet that Krennic went to talk to him.
That was totally Mustafar.
Yeah.
I think Vader just hangs out there now because that's where he fell.
That's where he was made.
Yeah.
That's where Anakin died.
I think that's just where he lived.
I didn't realize that when that was going on. Yeah. Wow.
I think that's what that was.
It's clearly Mustafar. It's the only planet they didn't give a title card to.
Yeah.
Because it's probably the only planet that you would fucking know.
You got that guy coming in on Vader and his blue Kool-Aid drink, his blue Kool-Aid bath. He was like, Vader, the Krennic has arrived, and Vader's like, I am clearly floating in blue Kool-Aid. If you would please
allow me to drain first.
Me and Hollis, I think we're both we were convinced that it was gonna be Hayden Christensen.
We were,
I was like, oh,
because we saw the back of his head, and there was you
see that moment where he was turning, and I was like, they're not gonna do this, are they? And then I was like, that's cool.
I was ready.
I was like, that's cool as shit if that's his little cameo in this, and then but
how fucking glorious! Honestly, I would have loved to have seen Hayden Christensen.
I would have been like, cool,
my problems with the prequels do not extend to the actors.
No.
Hayden Christensen actually did a very good job showing Anakin's emotions on his face.
There were moments
He looked
where
like he was constipated throughout the goddamn
in Attack of the Clones, maybe, but Revenge of the Sith actually sold it. Genuinely, to me, sold it.
He never really sold it, but I still don't blame. I still think it's a George Lucas thing. I think that he could have done it.
It's a both of them thing, but it's not all on him.
I think if you brought him back, and I'm hoping they will in Episode 8, and he'll slay it. I really do. I think he's had enough time to be like, how would I have done this differently? So,
I honestly, I'd love to see him as a Force Ghost.
me too.
I would love to see Kylo Ren be like, you do not know the will of Vader, and he'd be like, honey, please. See, I am trying to have my fucking ghost coffee here in the ghost zone.
I thought you were about. There were some moments in the film where you guys are gonna think I'm stupid for this, but like I thought when they were talking about Obi-Wan, I was like, Ewan, are you gonna show up?
When we first saw the desert planet, I was fully expecting to see a man in a brown robe and like a tan tunic, just like, and just like go off somewhere.
I thought they'd show him like at least like his shadow or something for a second. I'd be like, oh, cool, but.
Holy shit, fucking Vader in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, they were...
And as much as we're geeking out about Vader and Tarkin and everything, the characters they introduce here are fun. They're dynamic. They've got reasons to be there.
Yeah.
Like, you fucking feel for them. And they get just enough victories to where you're like, maybe they'll pull this up. They won't pull this up.
Yeah.
They kind of pull it off. They basically pull it off, but they don't make it out.
They pull it off barely. Like, it's crazy how barely they do it. And even then, after they do it, they almost lose the fucking card to Vader. So, like...
You see that fucking lightsaber go through that door just as the guys...
And that was the thing. I think we were the way that scene was constructed, you were thinking, like, oh, all he has to do is get it through the door and he'll be... Like, that's the one move. But then the door gets cut in fucking half with a laser sword.
Card, like, scrambling across the...
Scrambling into the fucking, like, into the dock. And, like, 3 or 4 of his buddies just... cut down like shitty Christmas trees.
I think he gets a little like hit
and like he's just like breathing heavy. His buddies are pulling him away. Like, did you see him? What I love is that like those guys don't stop running. Like once they're in hyperspace, they're still running through the ship as if like this will put me further away from this. That's scary, man. Oh god!
The hallway scene at the end, I think, was the best part of the whole movie for me. Honestly, it was such a payoff.
I talked with my my buddy OG Manekatir Zach about and I'm right there with him. As soon as I saw that corridor, that white sort of plastic looking corridor, I was like,
you knew what was gonna happen.
That's the Tantive 4. Like that's the fucking. I know that goddamn wall.
Yeah. Where it was going. Which I actually have. We were contemplating the names of who like voiced these characters that were CGI'd. Like your Princess Leia.
I'm curious.
Tarkin. The voice of Tarkin was Guy Henry, who is a British actor best known for his role as Pius Thickness in the last 2 Harry Potter movies.
He nailed it. That guy should get an Oscar, honestly, for that.
And then for Leia, it was a Norwegian actress named Ingvild Dale.
Well, she nailed it too. Good for her.
Yeah. So there's your 2 there, and they. Dale went uncredited. Henry was credited.
Okay.
So I don't know if that means Henry stood in as like if they both stood in as like the body doubles
with the green on there.
Yeah, that sort of thing for the acting. So I assume that was also the case as well. But those 2
unreal. They deserve an Oscar. What do you do in that situation? Can you nominate like Alan
Special effects.
Okay.
Special effects Oscar. I think.
God. That was a great vocal performance though.
It was.
He deserves like.
It was outstanding. Good God. This movie was so good. I want more martial arts in Star Wars.
We were sitting on the way home. Yes. I would love like more martial arts in Star Wars, please.
And the thing, really, Sharif was the only representation of the Force in this movie outside of Vader's spiel at the end,
and a different perspective on the Force.
Yeah.
Is this the first time we see the crystals for the lightsabers in the movie?
Yeah,
I think so.
That's really neat. Yeah. Is that some EU canon stuff that eventually became canon?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they never mentioned that in the movies. So
yeah.
That is clearly EU.
Well, now the crystals are canon.
There you go.
Cool.
So much canon. And I will say this: that it felt very much like a Gareth Edwards movie. If you've seen Monsters, you know what I'm talking about. This seemed very much like Monsters.
Yeah.
In terms of cinematography and lighting and everything, it's great. Especially to be able to capture something that mammoth from like an on-ground scale. It's really good.
The title cards, you know, this I think bothered me more than anyone else. Like that was the one thing that kind of like jarred me a little bit. You're just not used to seeing like the star date title cards in a Star Wars movie.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't really a star date per se.
It wasn't a star date. I mean, I'm kidding, but like it was. You know, I know Keenan was joking about that, but it was a little weird to see like planet name, Imperial Moisture Farm. Yeah.
Like a bunch of my buddies are like, oh, they're getting out now. They're like, Vader made a pun.
Yes.
Vader puns are the best puns.
Vader puns are the best puns. Now, I love that this movie did not shy away from breaking every rule that it could in this universe, and it was all the better for it.
Yeah.
It makes me feel a lot better about where they're going with some of the standalone films. Like
the standalone films might be the better films of the new Star
Wars.
Might
be. I mean, we have to see what they're willing to bring originally to Episode 8 before anything.
Episode 8 is gonna be real interesting.
Yeah.
Real interesting.
Yeah.
So
but more so for like the Han Solo movie, which I've heard a lot of cynicism about.
I'd be cynical about it.
Yeah.
The Han Solo movie?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know what Rogue One could have done that puts me in a better disposition for the Han Solo movie.
That's what I'm saying. Like, seeing that they can pull this off, like a smaller side story within this universe, and they're not afraid to do something different with it, and people can be very receptive to it. I think that it bodes well for the standalone.
I think the standalone films are cool because it basically, like, you can go to a director and be like, "There's no rules to make a Star Wars movie."
Yeah.
Well, there's still some rules.
There's some, obviously, it's Lucasfilm and Disney.
There are no rules. Some rules.
There's some rules.
Yeah. I mean,
there's less rules.
To be fair, there was a lot of blood in this movie for a Disney movie.
Yeah.
So.
That was
point blank headshots with blasters, something I never thought I'd see in a goddamn Star Wars movie.
And a Star Wars movie produced by Disney.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, that was some gnarly shit.
I got nothing but good feelings for the Star Wars flicks after this one.
I really thought they were going to Disneyfy the Star Wars franchise a lot, but Rogue One was a pretty dark, bloody war movie. So.
And another thing about this, like, you know, not too far. Like in the past, we heard about them doing reshoots for this thing, and that caused a lot of tepid reactions, a little bit of trepidation.
Whatever they reshot was a good call.
Yeah, so. Like I'm curious to see what it was that they reshot. You know, because honestly, you couldn't tell a difference really per se.
They said that they made it less of a war movie with the reshoots, but man, that was a war movie. So I don't want to know like what. Like version 1 was
so much so that it overshadowed like the trailer for Christopher Nolan's new war movie, Dunkirk. Like I don't need to see Dunkirk anymore. I just saw fucking Space Dunkirk. I'm good.
Space
Dunkirk.
And we also saw the trailer for Cars 3.
Oh God, Cars 3.
I genuinely was sitting there expecting Mad World to start playing.
The entire theater laughed at it too, which was
not a laugh I think they were going for.
Yeah.
We got the Spider-Man Homecoming trailer.
Yeah.
Same
one.
Seeing Vulture on the big screen.
Oh no, it was great.
Cool villain choice for that
movie. Vulture and Shocker are the two ones.
I'm really glad they went like Green Goblin.
No, they're saying that the Vulture and Shocker, they didn't build their equipment, and
Oscorp.
No, the Tinkerer.
Uh-huh.
It's looking like they might introduce the Tinkerer.
Those are some cool Spider-Man villains to bring into the
fucking
universe.
Shocker, Vulture, and Tinkerer. Like fuck yeah!
I want Scorpion.
And the Vulture suit looks like it's based off of the Falcon's flight pack.
Yeah.
Which people always joke about like what good is having wings in a fight? Like and then you fucking see compared to like breathing laser beams and shit like that.
Yeah.
But then, you see Falcon in, fucking Winter Soldier and Civil War just fucking dominating.
Yeah.
I love that Tony is basically, kind of really in the mentorship.
They've done a few amazing things with Homecoming. They didn't tell us the fucking origin again.
No.
They put Spider-Man. They put young teenage Peter Parker Spider-Man directly correlated to Iron Man as a much older mentor figure.
Yeah.
They threw him into a world where yes, supervillains can happen, but he's young enough in his career where he's getting dominated by the fucking Vulture.
Yeah. It's cool. All right, we've talked a lot. We are going to
final thoughts.
I'm going to give it a solid. I'll give it a good A minus.
A minus. I was going to say the same thing.
I'm going to go full A, even though Donnie Yen dies.
Yeah.
Donnie Yen surviving would put that
A plus.
A plus.
A plus if Donnie Yen survives.
Rank S.
Yes, rank S.
I can't really compare it to other Star Wars films because it's just so different.
It is so different.
It's so different. It's you can't really.
It's got a lot of the same moving pieces. The space battle feel,
reminds me a lot of Empire. It was very much like a Empire Strikes Back vibe. Darker though.
The ending. It's darker. It's darker, but the ending is still. It has that hope to it because you know what you're going into now. Seeing Leia at the end, I think, is the perfect antithesis.
That was crazy.
To the tone of that movie.
It brings you out of it and brings you into A New Hope. I think honestly, you could watch that movie and then go straight into it. I need to watch that movie and then go home and watch A New Hope.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it on DVD,
yeah, I want to see how that feels. But cool. Thanks for watching.
Yes.
We'll be back on Monday.
See y'all.